If
I
you
just
can't
never
take care
thought
of
I would
yourself,
see somebody blame the children.
Nobody's blaming the children, you fucking retard. Nobody is blaming the children at all. What we're saying is the children can eat a sandwich and they can get their clothes. We're not blaming them for their addiction, for the parents' addiction. It's awful, dude. We're trying to keep the family together, you asshole. We're trying to make it so that the government doesn't have to step in and take the kids away from their parents. You piece of shit. This isn't just an internet. See, you're doing this for clout. You're sitting there trying to get approval from certain folks on the internet who hate Nick Rekieta. You're trying to get ass pats from them because that's what you value. That's your currency. I don't want any of that. I don't give a fuck. The idea is to keep the little family together and to hope, I really hope Nick gets better, but you know what? The kids need to be taken away from him. If the family's going to stay together, the kids do have to learn some household skills here. They've been pampered, okay? And it's just further evidence. Nick and Kayla, I guess, not the best parents because I learned how to do this when I was a kid. I had 8 brothers and sisters, and I had parents who were also involved with drugs. And you know what? We didn't go hungry because we knew how to make a pot of spaghetti when mom and dad were being depressed, weren't around. We knew how to do our own laundry. Nobody went to school with dirty clothes. We all got jobs as soon as we could, and we started to take care of ourselves. I know it's a foreign concept to a bunch of people who make content every single fucking day about how entitled and retarded this generation is. Why is this even a conversation that I'm having with conservatives? I don't understand. Well, you're asking these people to get up and pull up their bootstraps. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make a sandwich. I'm saying keep this family together. I'm saying wear clean clothes. You can do it. It's the bare minimum that you can ask of kids so that the government doesn't have to get involved because people go and they go, these kids, they need to be placed somewhere, I guess. I don't care about internet clout. I want the Rekietas to kind of stay together as a unit. Now, they're going to be punished in whatever way. I understand this. It's not excusing them. Jesus Christ. You guys act like you care. You don't give a fuck. And this guy's your friend. Supposed to be your friend. Friendship is like, and this is what I say about these people. Like, friendship with these people is valueless. It's worth nothing. It's worth absolutely nothing. Every single one of them is just waiting for you to fuck up so that they can turn on you and use you for content. They're ferocious. This is incredibly ferocious. Yellow Flash going after Nick like in private, calling him a junkie and everything. You can't be his friend even in private? Hey man, we're just wishing for the best for you. You know, I know you're having problems right now. Get into recovery. We care about you. You know, I hope everything works out for you. If you need anything from us, let me know. Never. These guys, their friendship is worth nothing. It's worth less than nothing. Don't let these people anywhere near you. God forbid you have a family crisis. God forbid there's ever a point where you make a mistake and these guys are able to fucking step on your head in public to use you for clout. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that Nick was on this show and you were using him and his popularity in order to boost your own. And the minute, he's having trouble and his life is upside down, he's drowning and you're tossing him a cinder block and laughing about it. And then going and coming after me, too. Who else can you take out over this? Who else can you bring down over this situation? Man, I hope you guys feel good about yourselves, man. I'm not gonna, whatever happens to Nick, man, I'm leaving it in God's hands. But no, dude, you guys, this is bullshit. And not everybody here. Some of these guys are just sitting here thoughtfully turned away. But Flash, man, with friends like you, like seriously, like when somebody's at their worst. And, Nick has been having problems. Clearly, he's had problems with addiction for a while. We've seen him go downhill. Man, you're just waiting to fucking kick his ass, aren't you? Why? Because he was a really popular YouTuber at one point? He got like hundreds of thousands of people watching him? And that made you mad? You were jealous? And so now you want to stand on his head? Man, he just needs his friends, dude. He didn't have any. He didn't have any friends. Okay? So he didn't. And that's YouTube for you. That's these people. That's why I don't care.
That is the fucking worst take I've ever heard.
That was what I was trying to throw to you,
fucking
Doug,
kids.
to try to expect kids in this situation watching their parents self-destruct. I mean, this had to be mortifying for them. This would have to be like all these kids, I would imagine, would be suffering from serious depression.
They love their parents, you shithead. What you think is going on is objective. What they think is going on is subjective. They live in their home with their parents. It's all they know. This chaos is all that they know. Okay, they're used to it. They're accustomed to Nick and Kayla, their mom and dad, and that chaos. And we all are, man. None of our parents were perfect. A lot of our parents had problems. But none of us wanted to be taken away by the state and placed somewhere because our parents were kooky. If you had kooky parents, if you were poor, your parents had trouble taking care of you. All they know is their parents, and they love their parents. Shut the fuck up. Shut up with your opinion. You're trying to hurt them, to hurt Nick. Nobody's blaming the kids. I'm just saying, kids, you're going to have to grow up real quick. It sucks, man. I was there too. You're going to have to grow up. You're going to have to learn some home skills, some life skills. And it's not unusual. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people in this audience have reached out to me and said, you know, I read your comments, and people who didn't grow up poor will not understand what you were saying. But I grew up poor. I grew up with parents who also maybe were drunks or addicts. And I understand what you meant. And, you know, it's shocking that I even have to explain this to people. It's amazing.
What would you think? Like, God forbid, any of us were spiraling. How do you, knowing your kids, how do you think they would handle it? You know, do you think they would care for themselves? Do you think they would try to care for you?
Yes.
Would they crash and spiral with you? Like, what do you think would happen?
No, the kids are not going to crash and spiral with you. In fact, what's most important from this is that the kids grow up to be adults. It doesn't matter what happens to the Rekietas. They're already adults. What really matters here is what happens with the kids and what they get from this, because they're a primary concern. But you know what? Most kids, are going to take care of their parents, and it's gonna affect their lives. They're not going to crash and spiral with their parents. They're going to, you know, become almost caretakers. Some bad stuff is going to happen, but it's not nearly as bad as them being taken away from their families.
There.
Mm-hmm. I can speak from
He
experience.
says it builds character.
From experience on that, because like for
It
me,
does. It builds
my dad was an
character. You
alcoholic.
fucking
I died from
retard.
it.
It does.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Sorry
I think, like for me personally, like I got stronger through it, but for a lot of other people, it might destroy them. So
that's the thing. You can
yeah,
you can either learn and grow from it, or you can succumb to it. You've got one of two options.
Even though you got stronger, that didn't come for free either, though. I mean, and it's still probably, you know.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Nick is your friend, and he is clearly suffering in the throes of addiction, and the consequences that he is going to have to put up with are going to be life-changing, and they're going to be a real problem for him. I hope that they cause him to get better. The main thing is, as his friends, you know, if we are his friends, do we hate Nick? Are we like, you're nose guarding Nick? Are we one of these assholes on the internet? Or are we actually trying to be, pretending to be, trying our best to be as close to real people here as we can on the internet? And if that's the case, what we should be trying to do is just say, hey, Nick, hey, man, anything I can do to help you, anything that you need from me in order to affect your sobriety, in order for you to get clean so that you can keep your family together, that little family. You see them in the video at church. They're real people. This isn't a joke, man. They're real people. They're little kids. I saw these little girls in dresses sitting in the pews at church. And these guys, it's just an abstract concept. Abstract concept. Kids, you're hurting your kids. Shut the fuck up, dude. Understand, consequences are coming his way. They're going to happen. He's not right. He's not correct. He's going to pay for this. The outcome should be that he gets clean and sober and he gets to keep his little family together. And that's what the kids need. If you care about the kids, that's what you should be thinking. The people who are railing on you for your comments on the Rekieta's kids have never been latchkey kids. Probably was born past 2000 to not be one. Yeah, to me, they can keep saying, it's a terrible take, it's awful. And I just go, I don't know what it's the real world. I don't know what you're talking about. It's terrible to expect these kids. What do you mean? Like, it's a completely separate matter. It's a completely separate matter that the kids are like, my clothes aren't clean and I'm hungry. That it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with their addiction. That's a whole separate problem, okay? You can do this. Kids in bad situations at home can still get dressed and still make food for themselves when they're hungry. It's true. Meredith G. They can. It's not the ideal situation, but it's reality. It's the world. Meredith G. says, I'm a Gen Xer, grew up middle class, and at 11 I was doing my own laundry and could feed myself. Yes, I was a latchkey kid because of 2 working parents to pay for their kids' educational needs. There's not a big difference. I mean, it's all like parents not being there and kids having to. It's reality. It's the world. Urashima Matara says, we don't even know if the kids stuff is true. No, we don't know anything. All we know is the bullshit that we see on the internet. Assuming that the bullshit is true on the internet, I have these things to say. But I don't know, and neither does anybody else.